Today's conversation is sponsored by First Generation Capital Partners.
Networking is very, very important stuff, not only, multifamily or real estate space or, outside of, any job or any business. So your network is your network, right?
You're listening to the Going Long podcast with Billy Keels, the #1 podcast for long-distance real asset investing.
Welcome to the Going Long podcast. We're back once again to continue to help to educate you so you feel much more comfortable as well as confident investing beyond your backyard. And yes, I'm your host, Billy Keels, and I am really looking forward to you hearing today's conversation because it's a really awesome one. We're getting closer to, as you mentioned before, you want the shorter episodes. So we did a shorter episode, action-packed, and it's really going to help you. So thank you so much for those of you who continue to share the podcast. You continue to tag us and screen share and screenshot across LinkedIn and Instagram, and we appreciate that. So keep it up. Also, too, if you want to leave your honest written review as well as rating, you can go ahead and do that. We got a nice little video for you. And if anyone wants to check out any of the previous episodes, just go to firstgencp.com/podcasts, firstgencp.com/podcasts, and you can find out about everything. So listen, today you're going to learn a lot about #1, transitioning from corporate into owning more of your time, being able to actively and passively invest. You're actually going to hear from a guy who literally arrived to the US 7 years later, was working in IT, started in real estate, and has already left the corporate world. Pretty amazing story. He's looking at and continuing to make impact around and with others. You're really going to love today's conversation with Rama Krishna, and we're going to get to that just after this. So if you want to understand how focus on educating passive as well as active investors through multifamily real estate can lead to massive impact for your long distance investing journey, then guess what? Today's the conversation you're going to want to listen to until the very last word. I promise. You know why? Because today's guest, listen to this, not only attended university, and he's going to tell us where he attended university. I think it was even outside of where he lives now, but he can tell us a little bit about that. The important part is he had a successful career in corporate. Today, he is not only the founder of Usha Investment Group, LLC, he is also the founder of the super popular podcast, as well as conference of MFAP Podcasting Conference. It gives me great pleasure to welcome to today's conversation, Mr. Rama Krishna. Rama, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Billy. It's great connecting you again. Thank you very much. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, man, this is fantastic. I really appreciate that you have decided to invest your time with me, with the Going Long family. And as you mentioned, you were gracious enough to allow me to be a guest on your podcast, and hopefully I was able to add a little bit value there. And I know you've got a lot of really awesome things going on now, a lot of the work that you're doing and the positive impact that you're making in the multifamily space. So I want to get us started with one of those 5 questions that I'm going to ask you. The first question is, help us understand, Rama, where is it that you actually live in the US?
Right now I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Fantastic. I was actually just in Greensboro. Well, depending on when people are listening to this, I was in Greensboro in December of 2022. So that was pretty interesting. So awesome. So on the right coast of the US, help us understand also too, Rama, what's the most positive thing that's happened to you in the last 24 hours?
So yeah, definitely personal side. So my daughter got report card and she got good ratings. So that makes me very happy in the last 24 hours.
Oh, fantastic. Whenever you have your kids get good grades and be able to share that with you and smile, and they see you smile and you're just so proud of them, it's one of those things that's absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much, Rama, for sharing that with us. Also too, listen, and everybody knows this about me. I am someone who is, when I give your intro and your biography, I usually like to do it in literally 2 seconds. And so that means that I'm doing things that are almost impossible to do. Like I just talked that you were in corporate, but I didn't really say too much. I told them what you're doing with conferences and your podcast, but I didn't say too much. So that's one of these genes. I'm a recovering perfectionist, so I try to do things that are impossible sometimes. So hopefully you'll forgive me for trying to tell your entire story in a couple of seconds, but more importantly, that you could help me with something. Could you help me, Rama, by telling your backstory in your own words? And also, if you could talk about some of the important decisions that you made to get to this point in your journey, and then we'll see where you and I take the conversation from there.
Yeah, definitely. So I born and brought up and studied in India. So I did my engineering there. So also worked a couple of years in India, then came to, US. in 2007. So then I worked like in IT field like around 15 years, and also started investing into real estate around 2014-15. Started with single families, and then switched towards multi-families around 2017-18 time. Right now, I'm invested passively in a couple of deals, and also actively. We closed one deal last year, 2022. So that's my first deal. And also I run MultiFamily AP360 podcast and also conference. So yeah, I'm looking forward to close more deals actively and passively this year and coming years.
Hey, fantastic, Rama. I appreciate that. And so it sounds one of the things that you've been doing is taking consistent action, right? You mentioned that you came from India, you did that in 2007, and then pretty quickly, even though you were working in IT, you decided a couple of years later, and back in like close to 2014, that you wanted to buy single family residences. Now, like I'm someone who's from the US, but I chose to move to Spain. You are from India, you chose to move to the US, and you were in the IT industry. I was also in the IT industry. Right? Typically, when you're in the IT industry, most people are like, wow, that's the perfect place to be, because you have a lot of people, whether you're an engineer or you're in sales, people are typically making, especially if it's the software side of things. Were you near the software side of things?
Yeah.
Okay. And so when you're near software, you're typically making a high wage. And so one of the questions that people usually ask, and so I'm going to ask you, like, if you're in the IT industry and you're successful at it, what in the world got you distracted and got you to start looking at real estate back in 2014 after you'd been in the US for 7 years?
So not exactly distracted. Definitely I was, I know like, working in IT is, my scope is very limited. The impact, or contribution I'm doing is limited. So like, through real estate or multifamily, where I can create more impact, I can, contribute more, compared to, in IT field, specific role, So yeah, definitely, I want to, I know like I can contribute much more than just, role in ID side. So that is the reason, I started investing into real estate. And also, it will generate additional streams of income also, right?
Yeah. So you do have the income that is able to generate, but I think it's interesting to hear you say that it's really about, you felt that your scope is really limited when you were in the IT space. Whereas when you're now in the real estate space, you feel like you have unlimited impact. Maybe can you unpack that a little bit just so people understand? Because that's not something that people would normally say when your scope was limited, but you were in IT.
Yeah. So definitely in IT field, my role is like, let's say, some lead position. So I'm leading like 10 members or 15 members team on a specific, particular departments. So whereas if it comes to real estate through podcasts, I can impact, more number of people. With my podcast, it's delivering all over the world, not only one specific city or something like that. And also through conferences, through book, and also investing also. I'm partnering with, multiple team members and also, multiple investors investing in my deals. And also I'm creating some positive kind of impact through residents also, or communities in the particular apartments or multifamily apartments. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. So being able to see that you can make more impact. I love the example of the podcast, because this is truly a global podcast. Your podcast isn't. Give us the name of your podcast once again.
Yeah, it's MultiFamily AP360.
All right, MultiFamily AP360. So we'll make sure that I want to give you some shouts out and check him out over there. I was a guest, one of his early guests. So one of the other things that I'm always interested in, right, is you're in Greensboro, but I happen to know from an active and passive perspective, you're not 100% invested in Greensboro, right? So yeah, I always think that it takes a lot for the person who is deciding to invest in anything that's a tangible asset, a real estate deal, and they're doing that beyond their backyard. It takes something special to do that. Yeah. Talk to us about how you became comfortable with investing long distance in a place where you don't actually see the asset. And whether it's you doing it yourself or investing with the sponsors that are in other deals, you can't just drive to the property. So talk to us about how you got to feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, definitely. Multifamily or, real estate is a team game. And so you have teams, scattered across multiple cities or multiple states. So main advantages with real estate is so you have to identify right team members or right partners whom you can trust, so that you can invest into their deals. Maybe they are like same city or same state or out of state. So that is one thing. And also there are multiple factors. So now I will consider, before investing active side or passive side. One is like, right kind of partners, and also like where population growth or job growth is growing.
Mm-hmm.
And also landlord friendly, where rental demand is good. Those things I will consider. So same state or out of states, since like, multifamilies are big properties. So you will depend on other team members like a property management team, or some other team members like asset managers who are boots on the ground for particular city, and also other sponsors, all this stuff. That is the reason, it will give flexibility to invest out of states also. You're not 100% managing the property, or from property management side or asset management side. So you have other team members you can rely on. So that is the reason, I invest in other states also.
Okay, perfect. So you find different opportunities that meet the criteria that you're looking for. It's also helping you to build types of teams, new network, and it's also opening the opportunity for future investment opportunities. So I appreciate you having a clear criteria, sharing that with us as well, which is fantastic. So, so one of the things that you have also done, Rama, is something that a lot of people think about doing, right? Yeah. People are in corporate world. Like I was in the corporate world, and the corporate world and I, as of December 2021, like we're just not together anymore. So it's okay. We figured out how to make it okay. But it's something that a lot of people don't want to do. They're afraid to make that jump. And whether it happens to you or it's something that you look for, there are a lot of people that are afraid to make the change. You made that change. Can you talk to us about just what it was like for making that transition, so that person maybe today that's a little bit comfortable? I mean, we're talking right now, there's a lot of people in IT that are losing their jobs, but there's also people that are having the quiet quitting and just looking to move out and things like that. Everyone's situation is different. I would love for you to share yours with the Going Long family.
So yeah, definitely, last few years, my IT side, I'm not really enjoying my job. So like my role is limited, not much flexibility from role point of view. So, and also like, I have a lot of passion in real estate side, throwing podcasts or conferences. I'm able to connect a lot of people in this space, and, and like, the impact, or, the people I'm reaching out or networking in real estate is like, much, I'm getting a lot of value from that, connections. So that is one of the main reason I felt, real estate is my passion, and also I can do much more in IT in real estate compared to IT side. So that is the main reason I switched it. I left my IT job and focusing completely into multifamily space.
Okay. Now, appreciate you sharing that story. So, and when you left, because people leave and they talk about a lot of different things, and I don't want you to be too terribly personal, but did you feel comfortable and 100% ready when you left, when you made that change from corporate, or did you still feel like there were things that you were missing and it may have been easy to stay in the corporate role?
No, actually, I'm not really enjoying IT side. So,
okay.
So then I did like my conference that time, completely focused on IT side and conference side. So, I don't know, I felt not comfortable going back to IT side. So that is the reason I switched towards, There's no regrets. I want to, give 100% into this space. Yeah.
Perfect. So it sounds like because you were having such a challenge in your day job, you weren't liking it anymore. It wasn't giving you fulfillment. It was time for you to move on and do something else. So I know you started the podcast, and then you also have this amazing conference. So what was the reasoning for you to start your podcast? Tell me once again, when you talked about it before, why did you choose that, the niche that you chose? And then how did you, because you got this massive conference going on now. So talk to us about those two things.
Sure. So when I want to switch towards multifamily side, so I did like a lot of research on multifamily side. So through bigger pockets or other stuff, reading books, and started listening podcasts. Podcasts definitely helped me from education point of view, and also reaching out a lot of other operators in this space, and also finding mentors or mastermind groups. Definitely, I got a lot of value from the podcast. So, and also I want to give back, so that is the one reason, starting podcast. And also, if you want to involve active side mainly in multifamily space, so you have to build your, track record or, your brand, right? So that is the another reason I started podcast, to building my brand and to reach more number of people, to learn, to connect with the experienced operators, both passive side and active side in this space. So it will give easy access to reach out more number of operators and, learn from their experiences, what kind of systems and process they are following and what is their best and challenging experiences, what kind of habits they are doing, or what kind of books they are reading. Those kind of stuff you will learn, for doing this podcast. So that is the other reason I am doing podcast. And from conference side also, conference also helped me in, from passive investing side, also active investing side, connecting partners or, operators. So yeah, definitely it speed up me, process. Mainly like I attended virtual conferences, most of the virtual conferences, but it will speed up the process. Within 2 days, you will learn a lot of stuff, different aspects of the, multifamily or self-storage or mobile home pass space, learning all the different aspects of this game. So that is the reason, I want to give it back. I benefited from attending these conferences. So now it's my turn to give it back, So that is the reason I started my conference.
Okay. And I really love that mentality of saying, hey, listen, you've been able to receive a lot. So how can I give back? And being able to do that through a podcast and then really taking it to the next level to go into the conference, I think is something that's absolutely fantastic. Just one thing, because you mentioned it, and then we're going to get into the going long final three, and then we'll get ready to wrap things up. But you mentioned just very easily, but talk to us about the importance and the power of networking with others and what you found in your experience, the power that can happen through networking.
So yeah, networking is very, very important stuff, not only, multifamily or real estate space or, outside of, any job or any business. So your network is in your network, right? So yeah, definitely, through conferences, I'm able to connect, a lot of other operators and, passive investors and active investors. That helped me, finding partners, understanding their experiences, so their challenges and, identifying how they're investing into different markets, how they're operating, from underwriting point of view or, capital raising point of view or asset management point of view, different aspects, network will definitely help. And, it's a free, you'll get a lot of, benefits because multifamily is a team game and you cannot do it alone. So you need some kind of partners, right? So networking definitely will speed up the process.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. So being able to have that networking, accelerating the process to be able to get to the goals and desires and dreams that you have, I think is absolutely fantastic. So, Rama, listen, it's time for us to get into the going long final three. I never ask any of our guests, and today you're our special guest, about answering the going long final three until you tell me that you're ready. So are you ready?
Ready.
All right. Yeah. All right. I knew you'd be ready. Here we go. So we started with you in Greensboro. We're coming back to this side of the pond now with me being over here living in Barcelona, Spain. And so I would love for you to share with me and the Going Long family, what is your favorite European city that you have either visited or is still on your bucket list to visit?
So I didn't visit any cities, particularly, but definitely maybe Paris is one of the favorite city I would like to visit. And also Barcelona is a good city, right? Where you're living.
Yes.
Yeah. Spain is a great location.
Yeah, Spain is awesome. So you want us to take Paris or you want us to take Barcelona?
Maybe both.
Nah, you got to pick one.
So Paris, maybe.
Okay. Paris was great. I actually started my journey in Paris 22 years ago, and it's a wonderful city. Absolutely fantastic. So
yeah.
Question number 2, and this has a lot to do with the things that I've learned from people who are extremely successful. I consider you to be someone who's extremely successful. You're making lots of positive impact on people. And hopefully you'll agree with me, Rama, that one of the things that makes people who are very successful, it makes them different, right? Usually, what I've seen is that whenever they come up with a really great plan, they have a perfect plan. And then they, unlike most people, they get every single step in the plan perfect, like from the very beginning, which allows them to go faster and ups. I always get a little bit reacted with that part. Sorry. It was a joke. Everybody, if you can see Rama, he's kind of like got this beautiful smile on his face. Of course, it's a joke. Rama, people that are like really successful don't always get things right. They usually get a lot of things wrong. They typically get 20 to 50 times more things wrong than even than everybody else. The thing is, they do something very, very differently, right? And I hope that you will agree with this. Every single time that I've seen a really successful person make a relevant mistake, what they do after that is amazing. Because every single time they stop, they learn from the mistake or the learning opportunity or growth experience, however you want to call it. And then they put different strategies, tactics, and actions in place to minimize the probability of that exact same thing happening again. So I don't want you to think about the mistake that you made. I really want to think about the lesson that you learned and share that with us. What is the one lesson that you learned that you know you need to share with us here at the Going Long family today?
So yeah, mainly like one of the thing is like either part of my career, I was not taking extreme ownership. So that mindset shift is I'm focusing on taking extreme ownership of all aspects of my life. So that will definitely helpful for me. Yeah.
I like that. Taking extreme ownership. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Amazing. And I appreciate you sharing that with us as well. And then lastly, one last thing. What is the one book that you would recommend to the Going Long family to help to fill our minds with more knowledge?
So definitely Joe Dispenza's Becoming Supernatural. So I definitely recommend
Becoming
that.
Supernatural. Okay. All right. Becoming Supernatural will definitely. Well, and don't worry, everybody. We'll create a link in the show notes, and we'll get that for you, and you'll be good to go. So don't worry whatsoever. So listen, Rama, I think about you talking about the positive thing that your daughter and her grades, and that started out your day in a positive way. You've invested your time with us. You've told about your story from coming from India in 2007, getting started in single family residence in 2014. From there, you continued to realize that you could make a bigger impact by focusing on these real assets and really being able to get outside of just where you felt maybe a little bit trapped in the corporate world. But in real estate, there was an unlimited potential, literally a global potential to be able to positively impact others. And we see you doing that today through your passive investing, through your active investing, through your podcast, through your conferences. So listen, everybody's just like, Billy, just be quiet. Just ask him the question. So I'm going to ask you the question because everybody wants to know, Rama, what is the best way to find out more about you, what you're doing? And heck, even if you got a conference or something like that going on, you may want to tell us about it.
Yeah, they can find me through, for my conference is multifamilyap360.com. And if they want to reach out me, it's info@ushacapital.com, or they can reach me through ushacapital.com/contact. That's how they can reach out me.
Okay. ushacapital.com/contact is a way to reach you there. Also info@ushacapital.com. And we will also include that in the show notes, everybody. So don't worry. We'll get you there. So listen, on behalf of the entire Going Long family, I would like to thank you for deciding to invest your time with me and with the Going Long family today. So Rama, thank you so very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Billy. It's great honor and, appreciate for your, opportunity.
Fantastic. So listen, Rama, give me just like 10 seconds and then I'll get you out of here. So Going Long family, listen, Rama shared so much information. He really helped you understand how you can make a transition from corporate into passively and actively investing, getting the education, building your network, continuously taking action. So here's what I'm going to say. Take today's conversation, share it with a couple of people. That way you can actually take from the theory that he's talking about and put it into practice. He's helping you to start to take action. And then while you're taking action, I'm going to be here preparing for the very next conversation. So until then, go out and make it a great day. And thank you very much.